The architect of Project 2025 and the president of the Heritage Foundation wrote his master's thesis and his dissertation on slavery. You heard me. The current president of the Heritage Foundation and the architect of Project 2025 wrote both his master's thesis and his dissertation on slavery. And this is not something that's hidden. This information came out about a year ago, and you can still find his master's thesis as well as his dissertation online. From the article written by Samuel Friedman, we learned how Roberts learned and discussed the many ways Black folks, quote, asserted whatever small or brief agency was obtainable, from seeking baptism from the church to rising in armed rebellion to even through our music, dances, and songs. This man not only learned about, he also wrote about at length Black resistance traditions starting back with human trafficking, which tells me a bunch of things. If the person at the helm of one of the most horrific and harmful policy applied to the American population has a wealth of knowledge about slavery and its impact upon people and their resistance traditions, what's the excuse for everybody else? If folks like this can take that knowledge and weaponize it into literal harmful policy, what's the excuse for other folks? If people like this can take the knowledge that he learned from state-sponsored human trafficking and create devastating impact on marginalized communities, what's the excuse for other people not learning about one of the most harmful and detrimental practices in modern history, and then using that knowledge for good, using that knowledge to combat systems, using that knowledge to break down oppressive structures, using that knowledge to see how we got to where we are, and then making repair for where we need to go? At this point, there's no excuse. If folks like Kevin Roberts can turn our stories, our centuries worth of stories of surviving human trafficking into something like Project 2025, who's to say that we can't? Who is to say that we can't take our own stories? For those who don't come from a legacy of enslaved people, who's to say that you can't learn those stories and turn it into something good? Because right now, there ain't no excuse.